So let's get into Scrum and the whole process. And the first thing we really need to talk about is the development methods. To understand this, we need to start by understanding the waterfall method. Now, waterfall is a sequential method. Think about you're building a building. I'm going to go architect a building. And that building I'm going to architect, I need to have a basement. I need to have a concrete floor. I can't make the third floor until I have the design for the first floor. Matter of fact, I can't even put the roof on until I've gotten to know how tall the building is. So this is a very process-driven, step-by-step sequence. While this is great for building a building, it doesn't necessarily work well for other instances. So waterfall is great for something you're going to repeat over and over and over again with exactly the same process. A matter of fact, if I was building a car, after I've designed the car and I bring it into the factory and I have a production line, I need a waterfall process. I need to make sure that the wheels, the engine, all these different pieces show up at different points of the assembly line at exactly the right time. Otherwise, the assembly line doesn't work well. Waterfall has a great model and has a great place in what we're doing. However, when we look at software development, we need to be more adaptive. I jokingly say this, and it's probably the way to think about it. For those of you who have been involved in software development projects over the years, it's always, I've developed a spec, somebody builds a project plan, they create Gantt charts and program files, and they make a big schedule out, and then 3 days into it, somebody says, wait, we've changed this, or wait, we want to do something different. Well, in the adapted methodology, what we do is we accept change is going to happen. We accept that people are going to ask us for things and not know all the information. So instead of waiting until it gets done or until they know everything, we'll say, you know what? Let's do what we know right now, give you time to find out what you don't know, and if you need to change, we can be flexible in our delivery. Now, there are different methods of Agile. There's Crystal, there's Scrum, there's the dynamic system method, there's extreme programming, there's feature delivery, and adaptive development. The one that seems to have taken over is Scrum. Scrum has become, if you will, the default process that most organizations use. And that's the one we'll be talking about today. Agile is the whole concept or the whole relationship of all of these different processes. And it's basically the ability to create and respond to change. We know things are going to change. Imagine, if you would, I was going to build a cell phone, a smartphone. And my competitor tomorrow comes out with a new feature. And I said to my development team, well, guess what? We have our project plan for the next 3 versions. You can get this new feature out 2 years from now. Or I could accept that change is going to occur, and I might say, guess what? I don't want to wait 3 years. I want to get this in at a higher level. How do we do that? And what Agile recognizes is that change is real, it happens, and business drivers, so we need to be flexible in our business environment. We need to understand that rapidly changing markets and technologies need the cutting edge. The time to market has shrunk. We're no longer doing things in months, years. We're talking about days and weeks, and we need to be able to modify our processes in development, in programs, to respond to that. We need to reduce the testing and experimentation. Yes, we have technology to do that, but we need to look at that across the entire project. Imagine, if you would, I was going to build a brand new airplane, and I didn't test any system until the plane was completely done and finished. And then one of or multiple systems had a problem. Well, what if we did each system as little chunks and then took all of those pieces together to make it? As a matter of fact, one of the constructs of Agile development and of Scrum is that at the end of every period of time of work, we could have potentially deliverable solutions. The customer's value as delivered at the point of sale, not at the point of plan. So instead of waiting weeks or months or years, we could have 4 weeks and we could have something that could be delivered to a customer, whether it be an internal business customer or to an end customer. And we need an adaptive method of development rather than the traditional predictive methods that we've been using for years like waterfall. So why Agile? Our marketplace is changing and things are happening rapidly. If you think about where technology's gone in the last 20 years and how fast we've progressed using things like smartphones and tablets as compared to traditional PCs, we need to be able to respond to those quickly. The drivers from our business to get things out quickly and efficiently is important. Understanding the customer value and understanding that we need to be more proactive in what we do. So there is a manifesto, if you will, that we talk about in Agile, and it really comes down to a couple of things. Interactions over processes and tools. Let's get those individuals and interactions working quickly. In Agile development, specifically Scrum, we don't have a project manager who comes up to say, Bill, and where are you? We have a group of teams that work together that are self-motivated and are doing planning by themselves to deliver solutions. We talk about working software over comprehensive documentation. Now, this does not mean we won't document, but if you've been in the business a long time, getting full documentation, unless you're a government customer, is pretty rare. So the reality is, let's recognize that. Let's build in some processes where maybe they'll document their code, but we get working solutions. I've actually been involved in projects where it takes 6 or 7 months to document what's going on, and the customer's going, no, we need the software now. So let's move it quicker along. Customer collaboration, getting the customers, the people who are using the technology, involved in the process, whether it be weekly or monthly, as compared to, this is what you asked for, we'll come back in 2 years or a year and show you what we delivered. No, you're wrong. Let's get them involved early on and regularly in the process. And most important, the ability to change as needed. The ability to understand that change is going to happen, and instead of being hard and locked down to a plan, we're going to be flexible on what we're doing. Individuals over process. Although process and tools help complete it, it's the individuals, the people, who do the work. So we need to understand that in Scrum, it's the people and what they do and how they interact with others. Working software. We want to make sure the software works. We build it into little chunks, if you will, or little snippets, so that through the life cycle or through every Scrum run or every development window, we have potentially shippable code. That we collaborate with the customers. One of the terms that you'll hear me discuss later on in this course is the idea of a product owner. This is somebody who represents the voice of the customer, whose job it is to be involved in the process ongoing, to reprioritize the needs of the business as they change, as compared to the traditional, well, we have a plan, we're working to that plan. And respond to the change. Respond to change that's going on. If all of a sudden the business goes in a different direction, are we going to continue that project, or are we going to modify what we're doing to meet the needs of that organization? And that's what Agile helps us to understand. So we're adaptive in our approaches for linking people, projects, and values. We're a community of leaders that are highly successful in delivering results. So we increase return on investment by making continuous flows of value our focus. The idea here is that every couple of weeks, we're going to deliver a solution or a potentially shippable module or product. We're going to engage our customers frequently and share ownership, They're just as responsible as we are in delivering the solution. I've gone to many a project where at the end the project owner says, that's not what I wanted. And it's like, well, this is what we thought you wanted. In this case, we're asking them regularly to validate what they want and to help in the process. This is a change. Traditional waterfall, you have a project manager. The project manager is, if you will, the voice of the customer. And if the project manager doesn't get this right, you build a solution based on what you thought the project manager wanted. In this solution, the business, represented by a product owner, is validating what's going on. And the business users have input into the process in regular stages of development. We expect uncertainty and manage it. We unleash the creativity by recognizing that the individuals are the ultimate source of value. We work in teams, and instead of one person being in charge, the team becomes self-managed and can understand what they can do better and who in the team can do this role. It also helps the team grow and share information between each other. And we boost performance through group accountability for results and shared responsibility. So the group succeeds, the group fails, the group works together to get better. So I get a teamwork approach in this process. So we've just talked about, if you will, the basics of development. We've talked a little bit about waterfall, Agile, and now we're going to start looking more and more into Scrum and what Scrum brings to the table for you.
Start with new learning now.